Okay, I'm back. So out of all those scraps, I ended up with five boxes. So I'm going to keep a couple of them plain, just as they are. And then a couple of them I'm going to stain and do the barnwood look. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today, is the barnwood look. Let's see, which ones do I want to do? I know I want to do this one since I've already halfway got it stained. Let's do these three. Okay. So what you're going to need for the stain is you're going to need gloves. Trust me on this one. Gloves are very important. And these I got, they're just vinyl gloves. I got them at Walmart for, I think, 99 cents for this package. There's not very many of them. In fact, these are the last pair. You're also going to need some paper towels and a paintbrush. Now, don't worry about getting an expensive paintbrush for this. I got this paintbrush right here. This is what I've been using for this stain. And I paid like less than 50 cents. And you see how craggly it is? You're actually going to want that for this project. So get two of these, because you're going to want one in the stain color and one in the paint color. Oh, and you want paper towel to cover your work surface. And I don't know if y'all can hear this, but it's starting to rain. Okay. Now for this color, this is what I got. Wood stain, and it's weathered gray. Get whatever you want, but since we're doing the barn look, I wanted to look like it was old. So this is what I got. Need to stir this up. Whoops, I need that. Now this one they recommend putting the stain on and letting it sit for an hour. Don't do that with this, because one, this type of wood soaks up the, don't worry about that, that's where I just had some water, soaks up the stain like you would not believe. So you want to do this in small sections. And just barely brush it on. Get your paper towel and just rub. Do the inside as well. Put this off to the side right now. And I'm trying to get the, just rub as much as you want, because you really need to get this all in here. Apparently I can't talk and do stuff at the same time. I don't worry so much about the coverage on the inside because I'm not going to be painting any on the inside. I just want it. See, if you see I'm dry brushing, there's very little stain on this brush because I don't want it sopping wet in here. You want just enough that you can barely get any on it. And if you get too much, that's when you start wiping it off. Okay. More concerned about the outside. I've just about got all the stain I can off of these. This is also another reason why you don't want to pay much for the brush, because you want this just as scraggly as it gets. And also, if you find that you've added too much stain, which I have done, you can actually, and you can't wipe it off, you can actually go back and sandpaper, with sandpaper and get it off. Okay. See, I like for the grain to show. Oops. You want to get down in between. This is one of those times you don't want it to look perfect. Unless, of course, you want it to look perfect. But this is rustic, and rustic is far from perfect. Look, see, make sure you get the edges here as well. Okay. Okay, there's one. Okay, remember when I told you about putting the labels in the corner? Yeah, I didn't quite do that on this one. So this one is actually going to be sit back and it's going to be painted white. So we'll do this one. And it says for you to let these sit and dry for an hour. I find since it's basically dry brushing these, and since we're wiping off excess stain and you know, these don't have to sit for an hour before we go to the next step. And this little can of stain was like $5, less than $5 at Walmart. So there's really not much in money-wise in these projects. The paint sticks, there was a package, 3 in a package at Walmart for 88 cents. Now, if you're just going to do one of these, you might can convince the paint store to give you might have to go to a couple of paint stores to give you some paint sticks. Since I needed quite a few, I bought these. You know, depending on how many you need at least, you probably need about 4 packages for the big boxes that I bought. I think that's how many I ended up getting for each box. But, like I said, I ended up with enough scrap to make these little bitty boxes, so, you know, 2 for 1. The wooden dowels that I got them at Lowe's. Those were $1.65, and one dowel actually made 2 boxes. See how the grain comes through? That's what I like to see on this, especially on the outside. And this is why I wanted to make sure that I had knots. See how that knot comes through? Make sure you get the edges. Now it's okay if you have a little bit of wood showing through. That's fine. I'm just barely sticking the paintbrush in the stain. And they really don't take much time to make. Probably the longest part is cutting out the pieces. Yeah, another card right here. Not even on our road, on another road. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. That's all I'm going to do with this. Now, this off to the side. Okay, these need to still dry for a little bit, and I will come back when they're done. Okay, I'm back. Now, while I was waiting for these to dry, I actually went and painted this one white, so I set it off to the side to let it dry. Now, to get the barnwood look, which is like this right here, we already did the first step, and we stained the box. The next step, and this is crucial, you're going to need petroleum jelly. Because you don't want the white paint sticking over the whole box. So, get you just a little bit on your finger. And you're going to want to just barely put it some on there and then rub it. And do it in a few spots. I like to do it along on the edges as if it's worn. Now, if you put a lot on it, you're going to have big giant spots. Barely put a little bit on there, you'll have smaller spots. And you want to get it on everything. Anywhere that it would look like it was worn. Like parts of the handle. Make it look like it was worn through. On the sides, down the bottom. On the knots that I like so well. Yeah, I got it on. And don't forget the bottom. I like that knot. Okay, along the edge. Don't overthink it. Make sure you got everything. Now, don't worry about doing the inside. I only do the outside. Alright. Now, and I've already done this box the same way. I don't know if you can tell, it's shiny. So the next thing to do, and this is where this rough brush, this very cheap brush, is going to come in handy, because you're just only going to put one layer of paint on this, and it leaves streaks on it. And that's the look that you want. And just cover the whole thing. Go with the grain. Okay. Don't overthink this. Don't be too neat with this. I tend to, with this, I'm not painting the inside white either, because I tend to think of this as somebody found some old wood, old barn wood, and they just made these little boxes, and it's weathered the test of time, and they didn't bother painting the inside. Now, you can if you want. You don't have to. Alright. Yeah, and you notice I'm not wearing my gloves this time. That's because when I took them off, I turned them inside out and then I couldn't get them back in. And this is latex, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay. I'll quickly do this next box too. Not at all being neat. Because I'm going to be sanding this anyway. So, why put too many layers of paint and be neat when it's going to be sanded anyway? Right? Because you want this to look like it's had years and years of use. Oh, I knew there was another side here. Remember, try to go with the grain. That is really the only thing that I would tell you, is to be careful to go with the grain, because you want the grain marks. You don't want the grain marks going like this. You want them going like this. Okay, and we'll come back when these are dry. Okay. The the crates are dry, and my white one stuck to the paper. So, this is what it looks like right now. Next, get you a piece of sandpaper. Sheets. I tear this in like halves or even fours. Fold it and then just start sanding. Doesn't take much sanding. The part where the Vaseline is see right here, Vaseline was here. It comes off real easy. And there you go. That's that one, real quick. And I'll do the last one real fast. I don't really linger on it very much. I don't give it a lot of sanding because I don't want all the white to come off. I just want it to come off enough that it looks worn. See, that was a good spot where Vaseline was. Oh, when your sandpaper gets gunked up, just get some more. And there we go. Quick and easy. And I'll show you some pictures. I won't have any pictures of these with this stuff in them, but I'll show you some pictures of the bigger ones. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Talk to you later. Bye.